Excuse me. Alright, I think we should be live. Very briefly, very quickly, I should say, I wanted to cover candlesticks and what they are, what they show, and how you can use them to your benefit. So, basically, what candlesticks are, they're just showing price movement over a specific time period. So, currently, we're on the daily. So, each candle represents 1 day of price movement. Now, candles have highs and lows, and they show the open and the close. Now, depending on the color, it's either you can tell if it opened higher or opened lower, or if it closed higher or lower. So, for example, here, this candle shows that it opened here and it closed here. So it closed up, which means it's green, and the top of the wick represents the high, and the bottom of the wick represents the low. Let me show you a better example of this. But there's a good image. Just very briefly. So here you go. This is called, come on. There we go. Okay, this is a little blurry, but just to showcase very, very quickly. So on red candles, the open is always higher than the close. On green candles or bullish candles, the close is always higher than the open. The colors will indicate that. This is called the real body. And then the wicks are the highs and the lows. And I guess we'll just show you a few examples. See if anyone's in here. No, okay. I'll just show you different time frames. So like here on a 1 minute chart, each candle represents 1 minute, and then a 3 minute is three 1 minute candles, right? So each candle represents 3 minutes, and it's made up of three 1 minute candles, and the 5 minute, so each candle's 5 minutes of price action, 15 minutes, 1 hour, right? 4 hours, daily. And they all make up each other. So, various, two most important candlestick patterns, in my opinion, are just candlesticks to look for are shooting stars and hammers. Now, shooting stars typically form at resistance, downtrend resistance, horizontal resistance, Fibonacci resistance. Any of these hammers typically form at horizontal support, trendline support. Let me find some example here. Here's a good one. This one has trendline support and horizontal support. You see hammer. Moving average support or resistance. You'll see hammers and shooting stars. Hammers and shooting stars are just they're just the inverse of each other. So here's a shooting star. And typically what this shows, it's a rejection of price. So for example here, this wick shows that price was driven up here and it was rejected from this point. It was shot down. So you end up with this big wick, and you can see that price closed lower based on this red candle, and so that you end up with a shooting star. And that's why they're so important. They're reversal candles essentially, depending on where they form. I mean, you'll get them to form in random locations and they don't mean anything, but it all comes down to set and setting, where are they forming, and what does this tell you? What is this telegraphing to you? And there's a bunch of patterns. Here's a whole thing. Engulfing are another one. Engulfing are great candles to look for. They're not as common. And yeah. Let's see. Let's find an engulfing for you guys. Here's a good one. Oh, this is a really big engulfing one. Engulfing candles also usually typically form at key reversal points. So all it needs for it to be an engulfing is to engulf the last candle, with both wicks and the body have to be bigger than the last candle. And you can see here this is a blatant engulfing candle. And we see a sharp move up. And this was, of course, horizontal support. this occurred at. Tweezer tops, um, tweezer bottoms, dojis. Another one is spinning top. A spinning top represents indecision in the market, and I'll explain why once I find. Here's a good one. Typically, they also a lot of times they form at support and resistance when price doesn't when the bulls and the bears are battling at a specific price point, and no one really knows where the market's heading. So here's a good example of a spinning top. Typically, it's equal wicks on each side, and then the body is like perfectly equal, just about. And it's a spinning top. It represents indecision because no one really knows where it's going. No one can really take control, and you're stuck with this spinning top looking candle. Three white soldiers. That's another good one that represents gaining momentum. We see it here, sort of, but you really saw it with this engulfing. Three white soldiers. There's all kinds, and there's a good book I recommend everyone should read this. Japanese Candlestick Charting Techniques, and you can find a PDF. I didn't, I didn't buy this. Let me see if I can find. I think the Forex subreddit had one, but yeah, this should be it here. Ultimate Candlestick Bible. Yeah, this is the one I read. I'm pretty sure. And everyone should read this. I mean, this is like a must-read, especially if you're a beginner, because this explains everything. It explains candles. It gives you tons of examples, tons of various like small time patterns like these ones, like tweezers and three black crows and all that, which I don't really use. The main thing I look for are pretty much hammers and shooting stars. That's it. That's all I need. That's all I need for my strategies. So, and engulfing. But I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. And the quicker you can pick these things up, the greater the advantage you have in the market, because you're seeing patterns that maybe others aren't. So, I think that pretty much covers candlesticks. I think I explained everything, unless there's someone. Oh, Space Cadet. What's up? I think that covers it. I don't know if there's anything else. I guess I'll show you monthly candles. Why not? This is going to show up. Come on. Yeah. Any questions? Anyone got any questions? No? I think that concludes this short little vid on candlesticks. Well, if you got questions, leave them in the comments, because I'll answer them. But yeah, that's basic. Definitely, everyone should read this book, The Ultimate Candlestick Bible, Japanese Candlestick Charting Techniques. I think it was written in like the 70s. I'm not sure. But that was, I think it was like the 70s or 80s that everyone started using candlesticks, and then it became the norm. Bars show the same thing, bar charts. Basically, just about, but you don't get that. I don't know, it's just not as visually appealing. You don't really see the same thing. I don't know. Bars, like, I don't know why you'd use bars when you can just use candles. Candles look so much more aesthetic. What's another good one? Another good candle I could show is an exhaustion candle. Why not? Yeah. I was talking about this earlier. Unless this is on here? No. Exhaustion candle. Typically you see this after a large trend. Yeah, I was showing this earlier. Excuse me. Yeah, you'll see them everywhere. Here's a good example of an exhaustion candle. Typically they're the biggest candle in the trend. Because the irony is that usually when there's the most buyers, that's typically when the trend has run out. Because who's left to buy from there? So when things are overbought and oversold, typically that's when the trend runs out. So yeah, I think that's about everything. Just a quick little vid for everyone. Take care, be safe. Don't be stupid.